There's grass-fed beef, there's grass-fed lamb. Presumably somewhere out there there's grass-fed goat. So why isn't there grass-fed chicken? To answer this question, we need to start with the jungle fowl. Jungle fowl are these fancy-looking birds that still live today across much of Southeast Asia. They eat plants, but also insects, seeds, fruits, even small animals. Basically, they'll eat anything they can get their beaks on. So thousands of years ago, some of these jungle fowl were domesticated, and they became chickens. So modern chickens may look a little bit like jungle fowl or quite a lot like them depending on the breed, but digestively they're still basically the same animal, and that means they need some concentrated calories. Compare this to cows. The ancestors of cows happily ate grass and nothing else. To accomplish this, they had 4 stomachs, huge amounts of beneficial bacteria, the ability to chew for hours a day, and the capacity to process huge amounts of vegetation. Jungle fowl, and thus chickens, barely have 1 stomach. They've got a crop, which is this pouch that food goes into right after they eat it. Then they've got that little stomach, and then they've got the gizzard, which is a clever muscle that crushes the food. If you've ever seen birds out by the side of the road pecking up pebbles, that's why. The small stones go down into the gizzard and help them chew more or less. This system is not set up to deal with the volume of grass necessary to survive on it alone. Actually, because they're bigger and grow faster, chickens have higher metabolic needs than something like a jungle fowl would. And that means they need a diet that includes some feed that is higher octane than grass alone. For backyard laying flocks, you might do this with food scraps and some scratch feed, but on a farm, this really means grain. Now, we're all after healthier food, and most of us like eating chicken, and so some unscrupulous people have put this together and started making some claims that can't be backed up. Specifically, be skeptical of anyone claiming to sell grass-fed, grain-free chicken. If someone says they're raising chickens on grass alone, to put a finer point on it, they are lying. If they claim to be raising chickens without grain, that should be your invitation to ask questions. First, ask where they're getting protein and where they're getting energy. In other words, what are they using to replace soy or peas, and what are they using to replace corn? You can also ask about the breed of chicken, how long it's taking them to grow out. This might be theoretically possible. I can imagine using fish meal and molasses and successfully raising a chicken for meat on that, but I think there would be unacceptable environmental costs to that, and I suspect the flavor would be affected in a bad way by the fish meal. In a situation like this, the most important question is always, can I come see your farm? I started farming because I love it, and I really love talking about farming. And anyone who you're going to buy food from should be the same way. There should be total transparency about what the practices are and why they are how they are. That's the whole point of trying to do something different than what you can go down and get in the supermarket. And the fact that all chicken eat grain does not mean that all chicken is equal. Truly pastured chickens will eat tons of grass, clover, bugs, whatever else they can scratch up to go along with their grain, and they're much happier and healthier for it. And grain itself isn't all equal. There's a huge difference between high-quality organic grain and the cheapest conventional feed you can get down at the mill. And all of this affects the quality of the meat. First, it tastes much, much better, but it also must have some influence on the nutritional quality. I'm not aware of any good study comparing the health effects of eating conventional chicken versus organic-fed pastured chicken. It would be an almost impossible study to do. But I think it's a safe bet that chickens that eat a more diverse diet, including plenty of grass, that are raised in a way that is beneficial for the land, and that ultimately produce tastier meat, will also be better for the people who eat them. So, to recap, jungle fowl are flashy tropical birds. Chickens are basically still jungle fowl. That means they have 1 stomach that is not suited to a diet of pure grass. Be skeptical of claims to the contrary. But there's no need to lie or exaggerate, because truly pastured chicken is still way better than anything you can get in the supermarket. I'm Garth Brown from Cairncrest Farm. Thank you for watching.